Hey, love. Today, I want to open my heart to you in a way I never have before. This is not something I do lightly, but it feels like the right moment to let you see the parts of me I have always kept hidden. For so long, I have carried things inside that I never thought I could share. But today, I'm choosing to trust you with something that matters deeply to me. For the next few minutes, I'm asking you to stay with me, really stay, because what I'm about to share is deeply personal. I need you to feel not only the words, but the emotion that trembles beneath them. I want you to understand that this isn't easy for me. It's a step into the unknown, a leap of faith that could change everything or nothing, and I have no way to predict which. Please just be here, fully present, because I need to sense your energy holding mine as I take this brave step forward. Sometimes words fail to capture the weight of what we feel inside, but this time I have to try. There are moments when language seems too small to contain the depth of what beats inside my chest. But I owe it to you, and to myself, to seek the language anyway. Even if the sentences are imperfect, even if they wobble under the truth's gravity, I am determined to speak, because the words matter and you matter. So today, I'm letting my guard down completely. I want to show you something I have never shown anyone. My real face, my truest self. This is me, instead of the masks I've worn and the walls I've built, raw, vulnerable, and entirely honest. You're about to see me the way no one else ever has, and I'm trusting you to hold this moment with tenderness. Here's the truth. I am deeply in love with your looks, yes, but also with your spirit, your mind, your weary laughter at the end of a long day. This is not something I say lightly, and it isn't a fleeting crush. It's a feeling rooted in every ordinary moment we share. The way you push your hair behind your ear without thinking, the absent-minded hum you make while scrolling through a playlist, the delicate pause you take before speaking when you want to be sure the next sentence is kind. You are a collection of small graces, and each one feels like a quiet miracle. Yet it is more than the surface. Your beauty is not just what I see with my eyes. It is what I feel in my lungs each time I find myself close enough to sense your warmth. Something about you dissolves the hardened edges of the day. The very air around you changes texture, like velvet in candlelight, and I breathe easier just because you're near. Your smile turns the dullest room into sunrise. Your laughter makes the walls believe in music again. Your eyes hold unspoken stories, galaxies of memory, storms of feeling, quiet constellations of resilience. Sometimes I catch you looking out a window, and I wonder which chapter you're remembering. I could spend forever just tracing the distance between your gaze and the horizon, asking to hear every tale those eyes have ever witnessed. Being near you feels like coming home after a long journey, a porch light left on, a familiar door that never locks against me. You radiate kindness in a way that makes everyone feel safe and seen. Even on days you insist you're exhausted, you somehow manage to shelter others. And I know the cost of that generosity because I have seen the quiet fatigue that follows once the crowd is gone. You give without calculating, and the world is softer because you exist. I speak these words with all the sincerity I possess. I need you to understand how much you mean to me. You've changed me in ways I can't fully articulate, ways that go beyond the cinematic notion of romance and sink more honestly into the soil of real life. I catch myself making different choices, holding doors for strangers, recycling that takeout cup instead of tossing it, pausing to watch the sunset instead of half listening to it while refreshing emails. Loving you has rewired my attention toward beauty and intention. So here I stand, vulnerable, trembling, but unashamed. Vulnerability requires courage, yet your presence feels like an invitation to courage I can't refuse. I'm peeling away every layer I once used to keep the world at an arm's distance. What you see right now is my heart, wide open and a little messy, but honest. This isn't merely admiration. Admiration can be weightless and passing, a flicker of appreciation that flares and fades. What I feel is gravitational. It pulls me toward you even when logic says remain still. It's an invisible current running beneath the surface of every conversation we have, even the mundane ones about grocery lists and weekend errands. There is an energy between us, an unspoken understanding that I treasure more than I can explain. Sometimes, sitting across from you in comfortable silence, I sense entire paragraphs drifting between us, paragraphs we never vocalize because the quiet already says enough. There is safety in that silence, and safety, to me, is one of the purest forms of love. Let me tell you something I have never admitted aloud. Before I met you, I was afraid of being truly seen. I had perfected the art of partial disclosure, revealing only what was polished and palatable, hiding the restless, aching parts behind a well-timed joke or a skillfully changed subject. Then you arrived with your patient eyes and your refusal to rush. You listened even when I wasn't speaking, somehow hearing the footnotes in my sighs. You waited long enough for the truth to feel welcome, and little by little, it stepped into the room. There are still corners of my story that frighten me. Memories I keep in boxes labeled too heavy. Insecurities that wake me in the middle of the night whispering questions about worth and permanence. But when you reach across the table and just rest your hand on mine, those doubts scatter like startled birds. You steady me. I want to be worthy of that flame. I want to meet you in honesty every day, to rise above the instinct to hide when things get complicated. I want to speak clearly when I'm hurt, to listen deeply when you're tired, to let laughter be our favorite language, but not the only one. I want to grow alongside you, not beneath or above you, but shoulder to shoulder, hearts aligned toward whatever horizon we choose. You deserve transparency. You deserve promises that arrive wearing work boots, ready to be honored in the daily dust of life. So let me promise, I will not love you only in the bright hours. I will show up in the dim, stubborn dusk of misunderstanding. When the conversation tangles, when old fears rise, when deadlines pile and patience shrinks, I will not retreat into silence or sarcasm. I will breathe, remind myself that you are my teammate, and I will try again. I promise to notice. To notice when your laughter is slightly off-key, signaling a tiredness you don't want to name. To notice when your morning coffee sits untouched because your mind is somewhere heavier than caffeine can reach. To notice the dreams you speak aloud and the desires you write between the lines. Noticing is how love stays awake. I promise to keep learning you. You're not a fixed sentence. You're a novel still being drafted, and I want to read every evolving chapter. I want to meet each new version of you with curiosity and celebration, not nostalgia for who you used to be. Growth is not betrayal. It's evidence of life. I promise to nurture laughter, the belly-deep kind that makes breathing temporarily impossible, the giggles that erupt in grocery aisles for reasons no one else will ever understand. Laughter keeps the walls of the heart elastic. It makes room for the harder emotions when they arrive. And I promise to forgive, both you and myself, because perfection is a myth that ruins good stories. We will disappoint each other. We will miss cues and misinterpret silences. But forgiveness is a bridge I am willing to build again and again. Some bridges are worth the splinters. I'm not asking for perfection from you either. I'm asking for presence. Show me your unedited mornings, your half-finished sentences, your doubts about whether you're doing any of this right. Let's treat relationship like a laboratory where experiments are welcome and mistakes are simply data for better hypotheses. I want partnership that is brave enough to be humble. I want a love that plants roots and grows wings. roots for the grounding days when storms come, wings for the hopes that still outrun gravity. I see that possibility when I look at you. It glimmers in the ordinary, in the way you sort your mail, in how you tap your phone screen twice to check you locked it, in how you say goodnight like a prayer you trust will be answered by morning light. So here is my heart, not wrapped in fancy paper, not guarded by disclaimers, just here, beating in the open air. I'm placing it in your hands because you've shown me your hands can be trusted. I know there will be moments when the weight feels like too much or when the pulse feels unfamiliar. If that happens, speak to me. Let me know. We can readjust, renegotiate, relearn. Hearts are living things. They need conversation as much as they need rhythm. Let this confession be the beginning of something deeper, a bond where honesty and admiration guide us forward. Let's build a connection grounded in truth, respect, and the mutual understanding that we can be our authentic selves with one another. Let's promise not to settle for less than real, even when real is messy. Take your time receiving these words. Hold them up to the light, turn them over in your mind, weigh them against what you already know of me. Ask questions if you need to. Doubt if you must. I will stay. I will answer. I will wait, because patience is part of love's native language, and I'm still becoming fluent. Thank you for listening, for truly listening. Thank you for being the kind of soul who inspires courage in others. You have already given me more than you realize. A mirror that reflects not just who I am, but who I can be. Whether you feel the same or something different, I honor your truth. I want your yes only if it is wholehearted. I can hold your no with respect. The worst heartbreak is forced harmony. Whatever comes next, know that tonight, under this honest sky, I chose bravery because of you. And that alone makes all the trembling worthwhile. With all the gentle fierceness in my spirit, always me,